All right, folks, if you struggle with understanding or really knowing what you're looking at on your sonar, today we're going to take a look at this bank behind me. We're only going to use traditional sonar, which is 2D sonar, to help you guys understand each process more thoroughly and show you guys what I'm looking at whenever I look at my 2D. Let's get to it. All right, folks, today we're going to focus solely on the Lowrance HDS 12 unit, but we're going to be focusing on the 2D version of that. No side imaging, no down imaging, no mapping. It's just going to be traditional 2D. And the reason I'm doing this today is to kind of help you guys understand first the collars, how to pick stuff out, how to tell what is what, and just to help you understand what you're looking at. So I felt like there was a lot of questions that people were asking on the 2D version of this, and no matter whether you have an HDS unit or a hook or any other unit, the bases are going to be the same. So let's get started here. And what I'm going to do, as always, I'm going to leave my my options as far as how I got the sonar set up here on the right hand side, so you guys can mimic that if you want. I'm always going to be going about 3.5 to 4.5 miles an hour, and I have that on the screen already. And we're just going to be cruising this bank. It's a rock bank, it's got some mud, and over here on the towards the bank you can see that it's rock. Now if you don't know what your colors are, this is a good way to learn. On the bottom here, there's a lot of solid red and a lot of jagged edge. It's not smooth, and it's yellow is the hardest return for Lowrance in the color palette that I have set up here. And then you can see it goes into red and then into blue. The more orange, or not orange, but reddish orange that goes up into the yellow will be the softer the bottom will be. You can see all these little humps. Those are all, that's just rock that's on the bottom. As we go down through here, you just got some different depth changes, and I know it's rock because I'm seeing a lot of rock on the bank as well. Let's keep easing up through here, get my speed back up. One of the most important things is making sure that you're going in as straight of a line as you possibly can with the bank, and keep your speed, you know, between 3.5 and 4 miles an hour. We do have some fish. We got a ledge that's coming up right here. Looks like it's got some, to me that resembles wood, just a kind of a jagged edge right there as we come up this ledge. So we got some wood mixed in with some rock. We're just going to keep easing up through here, slow my speed down. And if I keep harping on the speed, it's because it is very important. I am in 83 kilohertz. I am an old school kind of guy, so I like that 83-200. Lowrance has some pretty good settings as far as auto, so I leave my sensitivity in auto, my range in auto, and then I got my color line on 76%, but it is also as auto as well, so it will change itself. So we got some cover right here. This looks like wood. You can see how it's connected, and it's got a softer return right here. So that's a nice little log or stump pile or something on top of this hump. And it's got some rock in there as well. Coming down a ledge, looks like we got a couple fish here. To me, those do not resemble catfish. Those look like a long, skinnier fish. I may not have hit them, you know, went straight over them with the cone. That makes a big difference as well. Definitely got some nice drop-offs right here. Kind of indicates a hole of some sort. A little bit more wood. As these colors, see, remember, yellow is going to be your hardest return, and then as it comes up and it gets softer, wood is going to be softer than rock. So these color changes that you're seeing, this is wood structure, and this is directly under the boat in the cone. As the deeper the water, the bigger the cone, but the shallower the water, the more narrow the cone. So this is pretty much straight underneath the boat. Got some nice depth contours with some wood. You can see some wood in there. A couple more fish right here, and they're on this wood. This bank just has some nice depth changes. We don't have a lot of current, so it doesn't surprise me to see these fish up into the water column. These little areas where you got humps with wood on top of them, the more current, the more these fish would be down into these little tiny crevices, hiding from the current. But there's not a lot of current, so they're kind of up on these this wood. Now here you can see this reddish orange is mixing a lot more, and the yellow is broke up more right here on the contour line. Well, that is showing us that we are now into a mud bottom, not so much a rock bottom, but more of a softer bottom. Got another fish right here, and once again these fish are up into the water column quite a bit. And if you go back to the beginning, you can see the difference in the bottom, how much harder yellow when we first started out versus what it is now. This is a really good mud, and you can see just the bottom just kind of flattens out. That indicates mud as well. We do got a lot of activity, nothing major, but there is some fish over here. We're in about 25 foot of water, and I like keeping my depth here, but also up here in the corner as well with my water temperature. We got 63 degrees, and we're moving about 3.2. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep it to 3.5 to 4 miles an hour. This is some gizzard shad right here, and we got a fish up in here with the gizzard shad. Let's go to some of the settings. So noise rejection I have off. Surface clarity, I'll turn it up higher so you guys can see it. And this just gets rid of all of this, and it also kind of makes the screen less sensitive, or the water column less sensitive. I like to have mine on medium or low, depending on the water clarity. The muddier the water, I'll turn it up to high, but the clearer the water, I'll turn it to low or off. I got my scroll speed on normal, and one of the big things is to have my ping speed on max. I always have that on max. Now collar palettes, to me are just what you prefer. For me, I like color palette 1. It's a traditional Lowrance. It's kind of what I learned, and that's what I like the most. But depending on what you want, you can always, it's as simple as just going in here and changing it to what fits your eyes. A lot of saltwater guys use palette number 10 or palette number 11. But for me, I'm a traditional number 1 guy. You can also put depth lines in there if you want. You can overlay your down scan if you have a down scan 2D version, but today we are just on traditional 2D. One option that if you guys have this on your sonar that I kind of want you to turn off is fish ID. So if you got like a fish symbol on your sonar, take it off, because it kind of skews what the fish actually is, or what it takes away from what you can actually see. So I always have that off. So now something to remember is very important when you're looking at your 2D is the collar. So you want to find a bank that has a lot of rock on the bank, or is a rock bottom, to get your collar line base. and then work from there. You know, for me, I know that we are in a muddy bottom because this orange is protruding up into the yellow so much. Now, if that was rock or you know, a lot of rock or mixed in rock, you would have less of that color protruding up into the yellow. That is probably the most important thing to figure out as far as 2D goes, is what the bottom is made of and what you're looking at right there. All right, folks, so hopefully that helps you understand kind of what you're looking at on your 2D sonar. If you like this video, make sure you go back and you check out the other sonar videos as well, where I break down what I'm looking at on side imaging and on down imaging as well. So thanks for watching. As always, God bless, tight lines, and we'll catch you on the water.